So we all knew it would happen at some stage. I said it could happen. I didn't think they were that bold in effort, and they had the balls, but they basically put the balls out today, quite literally, and unfortunately the balls got taken off them. In other words, the public backlash in a few hours. From both sides, from people who were pro and anti and X, Y, and Z, or so called or whatever, you know, but the balls, the government's balls and Neffet's balls basically got tearing off. I know that sounds a outrageous thing to say, but basically that's the best way I could phrase it. In a few hours there was huge public backlash. And now I can't say too much, I have to be careful what I say. Isn't it a great country? But I have to be careful. But again, this thing about mandatory anything. People, again, in this country particularly, it says in the Constitution that you can't force people to any kind of medical care. You can't force anybody. It's the same. People can sign themselves out of hospitals and things like that if they think they're well. Even though the doctors could advise you to stay in the hospital, but at the end of the day, it's up to the person to say, I want to discharge myself from hospital. There's been cases that have to go to the High Court and things like that and go to court for people to be staying in hospitals and things like that because they done well or whatever the case may be. But for doing this, again, the Constitution of Ireland, it's very straightforward that people, you have a choice to medical care that you choose, basically, you choose. Nobody can force you to go to a certain place. Nobody can force what you can take, what you can't do, what you this, that. And to do this, again, what Neffet's recommending is beyond criminal. Let's be honest, it's beyond criminal. And it's in no way could it be justified. Like, again, this is the thing, it can't be justified in the Constitution of Ireland that they just do a big U-turn from nearly 100 years, apart from the 1937 Constitution, replacing the Irish Free State Constitution. It's still, at the end of the day, it still had that people have first of all bodily autonomy. Well, for the last few years they had a bodily autonomy. But yeah, but that they had the choice to medical care, and that the choice, they were not going to be forced for medical care. But years ago, things happened. But we see this around the world. But again, in Ireland, it's very, very difficult. And again, the situation Ireland is in at the moment, with 90-something%, whatever, we all know what the yoke. You have to say to you, on what basis really are they going to mandatory it? Because again, Micheál Martin came out a few hours later because the backlash was so severe, the balls literally got taken off them, and said there won't be any or whatever. But we all know that an effort are just not well in the head, particularly again this government too, they're not well in the head. Let's be fair, the whole fucking establishment is not well in the head. The media is not well in the head. But again, when were they ever well in the head in this country? But again, this is the thing. It most likely, because they can't just bring it on the fly, that everybody has to be mandated to get this. They simply can't. It has to go through the House of the Oireachtas, and I'm sure. Again, this is the thing, because I could see them doing it. They might not do it now because the public backlash was really severe, and they got literally the balls literally taken off them. And I really say that literally in 3 hours, Micheál Martin basically come out and say, calm the fucking horses. Look away, do something, media, please, spin something. So they spun something to try and shut people up. They say, oh no, Micheál Martin said, no, we're not going to bring it in. But we all know they are. They're just kind of delaying the fine print, if that makes any sense. So instead of this month, it might be 2 months' time. When people settle down a bit, when people try and forget, they try and make people forget about something. But again, this is the thing. It should be voluntary. Everything you do should be voluntary. And nobody can really force you to do anything. Again, it's up to people to decide themselves. Again, this is the thing. I can't say to you what you should do or what you can't do. It's again, if you're 18, you have every right under the sun to do whatever you please, as long as within obviously not go out and shoot somebody. Obviously that's breaking the law, but within the rights of humanity, and what you can do, and what is in your best, what you think is in your best interest, what's in your mind, basically what you take for yourself. Because again, we can't tell you. and it's not shouldn't be up to any government or effort or who like again who's effort who elected them. I don't remember seeing Tata Tony Holohan's name on a ballot paper, but I seen them. I seen the focus that we elected all out on a ballot paper. And we shouldn't have fucking seen the on the ballot paper. But again, yeah, this is just the thing that it should be voluntary. No such thing as mandating things X, Y, and Z. But again, I am very limited what I can say. Which is a great country, isn't it? But yeah, we all knew that we'd come and try and do this. But again, not going to work out probably too well, let's put it that way. Because what can they really do to people? They can't lock people in prison for not complying. They can't. It would look terrible on them, because there's people getting off with murder, and quite literally murder, and they're now in prison. And how could they justify it? How would they justify it? But yeah, we wait and see what happens. But it's interesting to see. But yeah, I can't say. I have to read in between the lines. I have to speak in between the lines. So yeah, but I'm sure you'll get what I'm saying. But it's entirely up to people. Again, I'm not going to say against or for or whatever. It's up to you. It's up to you, and that's my advice. It's up to you, and it's up to you to decide what you think is right. Regardless of what I say or whatever tonight, it's entirely up to the person themselves. But again, that's just me. So yeah, let me know what you think. So yeah, apparently the conspiracy theorist, all right.